Welcome to the listening show you can listen to with me and Zach like this. Pow! A slap a pow! All done. All right. Well, no funny introductions today. We're apparently running through this as quickly as we can. We were sitting at your house eating food, and then I asked when we were going to record the show tomorrow night, and you were like, no. And then you said, let's do it tonight, and I was like, are you sure? And you're like, yeah, I guess. And I was like, I'm sure. And then we both came over, and we were like, ran downstairs
over
as fast
my house
as we can.
and came over here together at the same time.
We hit record.
Just to blow out.
We just hit record, and here we go. So
yeah.
I want to stop saying I noticed I've been doing that a lot more lately. AH is okay. UH is not cool.
The hesitant thing. Did you ever train yourself out of that habit just to fall into it again?
There was a period of time when I was really rather good at that. No or
Those hesitant words.
Well, I don't think they're words. The way I think of them is they're sounds to hog airtime. Like don't speak because I'm thinking I want to fill in the airtime. Like
yeah.
Just talk like this instead without in the middle of them. I just think that's a better way to speak, but
yeah,
it's really easy to do those.
Yeah, it is. You just feel like you have to fill space to claim the air.
Right.
Yeah.
Like as a kid, that's what you do. you talk over each other a lot, and so you have to speak louder.
And then sometimes you talk over the
Sometimes you even talk over yourself.
Yeah. Dang. Yeah, no, I used to. Okay. So on the topic of talking habits that people have, maybe I've told you this, maybe I told somebody else, but I have a new coworker at my job, and it's the slowest talking person I've ever met. And I actually really like this guy, but like when you ask, like I'm trying to like reach out and get to know people I work with, whatever, make him feel involved in the group. So I'm like, hey, how's whatever going in his life that he mentioned briefly? Well, it's going okay. We're having some snags. We're running into some things with it, but it's literally that slow. I'm not exaggerating one bit.
I doubt it. Yeah,
it is hard to talk to. I really like him, but I wish sometimes he speeds up and it's like, oh, thank goodness. But most of the time it's like, we just have been working on it, but and I'm like, I don't, because you're not.
It's like the light. It's his turn to speak. It's a car. The light turns green. He starts rolling, and they're kind of just slowly picking on. It's like he's going, but come on.
Yeah.
You're holding up all of us who want to talk and want to drive forward. It's kind of funny.
It's the equivalent of the kid who writes the essay in high school that you have to make 1,000 words. And so he types a bunch of words in nonsense, but he hides them in white underneath the double spaces. So like you get 1,000 words by the word. You ever heard of people doing that?
No, I've never done that.
Yeah, because it counts the words you have. If you just color your words the same color as the paper, they don't have to mean anything, and it still counts as words in your essay.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like that wouldn't work because I think anyone who, like, say, professor who sees 1,000-word essays, whatever this number is, all the time, knows what 1,000 words looks like.
Yeah,
and we go, no. Also, it's not like the professor. Well, maybe they do. They do a word. Presumably, they do a word count check on the document, and that tells them it's 1,000. Yeah, that makes sense. But still, I feel like. But that was so many, you'd know what it looks like
for sure. With 1,000 words, I think generally that tactic is used when it's like a 50,000 to 100,000.
Right, when it's harder to tell the difference. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, when there's just tons of words anyway.
But when the professor, whoever dictates a certain font size and word count, that will look the same every time, assuming they always have the same word count. Whatever.
Yeah.
To a degree.
Well, I could totally imagine a scenario where they're like, you need to write 100,000 to 200,000, 150,000 word thesis or whatever. And you get to like 80,000 or whatever. And you're like, I just can't, this is so hard. And then you think, I bet I could fit 20,000 in white, whatever. It's cheating, but I can see a scenario why you'd do that. And if you were rushed on time or whatever.
Yeah, I guess.
Because that's still a lot of words.
It's weird because it's never occurred to me to do that.
Well, me neither. I learned about that way late.
All I ever did was, double spacing or whatever at best, more spacing, but not false word count.
Yeah. what they do is they like change the text size. And so it's like really small text size in between. And so it's like almost indistinguishable, which is like super sneaky. But how you can find it is all you do is drag your cursor over it, and then you can see it all.
It'll highlight it.
Yeah. So it's easy to find, but maybe.
But that's on the professors for being so lazy.
Yeah,
they deserve to have that snuck past them because they couldn't be bothered to do this, I guess.
Sure.
That's a bad justification, but it's a justification.
My guess would be that now that it's out in the open and it's common.
Now that our millions of listeners know that from us, that won't be able to people won't be able to get away with it anymore. And I'm sorry. We ruined that.
Did you ever cheat in school?
I can't. Well, the good news is nothing's coming to me. Doesn't mean I haven't, but I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
In homeschool, I know I did, but I didn't feel bad about it. But that's a different story. For people listening, I was only ever in public school for 1 year, my senior year. And in that year, no, I didn't cheat. I didn't have how do you cheat? You sneak into your...
I don't know, copy someone's homework or something.
I guess that'd be a way to do it. No, I never did that. No, I had people ask to copy mine. I'm like, no, because I was 2. I was like, that's cheating. Number 2, if I have to work, then you have to work too. Yeah. I'm not giving you. Why would I do that? Yeah. Why? I don't know.
Yeah, no, I get it. I don't know if I did either. I'm sure I probably maybe there was like a math book I had at some point where maybe I looked at an answer or something. But I feel like on large, I didn't cheat. I don't remember a specific time for sure. Whatever I did, I didn't feel guilty about it.
I was just trying to think of that answer in a different context. It's like you're being interviewed for a job. How would you describe yourself in school? I think on large, I didn't cheat.
It's just I didn't murder every day.
That's a fun question. When I get asked a question that I've never been asked before, I like it. It's a fun question or interesting question. I appreciate things like that. So that's a simple question, I guess. Have you ever cheated in school? But I've never been asked that.
Oh, really?
We could play a game. We could not. It's called try to ask you a question you've never been asked before.
Yeah, okay.
Now we can be dumb and ask arbitrary, redundant, dumb questions like, have you ever had a warthog impale you in your left butt cheek? You know, like we can do that technically, but we're both too not clever, stubborn to just give ourselves a pass with the dumb questions. So it's my turn.
Okay, we can play this game.
If you want to. What's your game?
Well, it's like on the same vein. It's like, let's come up with a sentence that's never been said before, which is great because it's always super random. And like the further degrees of randomness you get, 1, the funnier it is, and 2, the more likely it is never to have been said.
On that note, I think we should each come up with a sentence like that.
Yeah.
The shorter it is, the more impressive it is.
Yeah. And I always one thing I think is, what is a word that very, very seldomly is like used to start a sentence? So that's a good start.
Soliloquy.
Already.
That's what I want to start my sentence with. But I need to look up what that word means. I think I know what it means, but I don't know.
Like soliloquy?
Yeah.
It's like soliloquizing. You deliver a soliloquy.
It's a summarization, right?
It's like artful.
See, I can't use that word. Never mind. I was just trying to give an example, actually. But yeah, that's a good point. Start a word. Okay.
Too many times, 7 gophers have thrown all of their pizza rolls into my nutsack and then devoured the universe with chopsticks, and a tummy ache is on its way.
Then that sentence is great. I'm gonna try and make mine like less than half that long and hope it's original. Tuesdays, not Wednesdays, is the day that every purple hippopotamus eats tacos. I think that's never been said before. You don't think so?
I'm not
Tuesdays,
convinced.
not Wednesdays, is the day that every purple hippopotamus eats tacos.
I think you would have done better like Tuesdays, not St. Patrick's Day. Like if you were more specific. Yeah. One more degree of
that would
freedom.
be redundant, wouldn't it? Tuesdays, not maybe unless I said except St. Patrick's Day, like that ever fell on a Tuesday.
Sure.
Whatever, yeah.
I felt like you were 1 degy of difficulty off. Someone said that.
You think so?
Yeah. Well, there's a billion.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, I think I lost. If you really, I believe you. If you
do you think someone ever said the sentence about the gophers and the pizza rolls and the nutsack?
That was like 36 words long. That was a really long sentence.
Yeah, I wanted no chance. I wanted,
Yeah. Well, I know. That's easier. Obviously, I was trying to like I said, if you can make a new sentence with fewer words, that's more impressive because it's harder to come up with. Like when you have a long sentence, that's like, well,
okay.
better. You're introducing more variables. It's like, you know what I mean.
Existence is like 3 times better to the alligator. His cousin.
That's space to the alligator. His cousin.
That's another sentence. Do you think that's been said before?
No, but
Okay.
I don't think mine's been said either. Okay, I'll try another one.
Okay.
All right. I want to not use food again,
Yeah, that's what I was
and
trying
not
to think
and
too.
not animals. I just think of those two.
Yeah.
I'm afraid of going to use words that don't make sense. If I want to cheat and just say random words. It has to actually make sense.
Some semblance of sense.
Similar synonym synopsis is something someone said. There are 7 words. You think someone said that?
It's an alliteration. The alliterations
Yes,
are
it
more
is.
likely to be made.
Yeah, but I don't think anyone's ever said that.
Maybe, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe. There's
All
a
right,
lot of people.
I'm not gonna play this game with you anymore.
Sorry, I'm
No,
a
it's
harsh
okay. No, I'm
judge.
just saying, like I, and maybe it's my fault. I insist on doing shorter sentences. I'm making it harder for myself.
But you also started them all at the same letter, and I think alliterations people, like some kids somewhere said that.
I would say an alliteration is more likely than the jumble of random words to arbitrarily make a sense. But that's the point. I want my sentence to.
You want it to dance close to the line, but not.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I don't want it even close. I want to
Well, that's
wreck
easy.
this game.
That's easy. You want
Yeah.
me to make the longest run-on sentence possible?
It doesn't have to be run on. It just has to be convoluted.
Well, that's kind of what I mean. That's what a run-on sentence is.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah, give me your best convoluted sentence that nobody's ever said, and make sure of it.
Okay. But it has to be grammatically correct.
Yeah, grammatically
Okay,
correct.
you can write out any grammatically incorrect.
And
sentence.
actually,
Not-
I'm going
not
to
matter.
further that. Sorry, I'm going to further that rule and say not only grammatically correct, but grammatically desirable. Like, because I started,
Okay, all right.
I started
Just
with.
let me ramble.
Okay.
Tell me if this sucks or not. So Jeff and I, we were messing with the doorknob, but the thing was the doorknob was locked on the other side. So I used a heat gun to open it because it was needing to be loosened. But Jeff told Greg that I said that I had a frozen gun, which would make it worse. And I told him that Jeff said that Greg was wrong, to which Greg said no.
Okay.
You think someone said that?
No, I don't think
But you
so.
don't like it.
No, I like
Why are
it.
you so freaking hard to please? Why
I
do you
like
not
it.
appreciate the gifts I shower
I like
upon
it.
you?
I like it a lot. I really think it's great.
You know, I'm not even convinced that story made sense.
I'm not. Yeah, that's where I was.
I was like, uh-oh, I
I'm not
forgot.
sure I followed that.
All right, the other game now.
Okay, yes.
Asking questions that have been asked before. It's my turn. You may have been asked this before. What's your favorite color jeans?
Ooh,
Been asked it before?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
You know what? I like red jeans.
Really?
I do.
Doesn't that tickle just a tiny bit to ask
Yeah.
or think of something you've never thought of before?
I got one for you.
Okay.
First, answer your own question. What's your favorite color jeans?
Blue. There was a time when it was black, but now it's just like a darker, kind of like what you're wearing, but like I would say a stronger. Those are a little desaturated.
Yeah.
But now just blue.
What is your favorite bug?
That's a tough one.
Yeah. That's why I was like, I don't think I've ever been asked that, but I think there is a favorite.
It was weird because without thinking about it, I thought spider, but that's clearly not it. Something, I'm going to come up with something, whether it's totally true or not, because I want to give an answer. Something that's not gross or most people like, not a caterpillar, but something that's pleasant, is as pleasant as a bug can be. So
I've got 2 favorites.
maybe black ants, the big black ants.
Okay.
I don't know.
That's a good answer. My favorite is either lightning bugs or praying
course.
mantises.
What a great, of course, lightning bugs.
Yeah.
What a
But I
great
really
answer.
like praying mantises too.
Yeah.
I think they're freaking cool.
I had one hanging on my window for like 3 days last year.
I remember you showed me.
Oh, I did?
Yeah, it was there.
Oh, good. I'm glad I proved it. All right.
Have you ever been asked that? What your favorite bug is?
I don't think so.
Cool.
If either one of us asks a question that we think we've been asked, we need to shut it down and go, I think I've been asked that.
We can answer it out of courtesy and to have a show.
Oh, we could. We could just you could just shut up and answer the question.
just do what I want.
Have you ever been locked outside of your house? Is that a question someone's asked
I
you
have
before?
been.
Okay, you have. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm sure I told the story before, but I don't know if someone's asked
Yes
me.
or no question.
Yeah.
You can tell a story if you want to. I'm just
I got locked out of the house and then I was outside of it. I couldn't get in.
wow.
Cool, huh? I was at the Spring Hill house. It was when we lived, and I remember couldn't get in the front or the back, and my parents left, and so I was just outside, and it was dark, and I couldn't get inside until they came home, and so I was just like laying on the deck.
Yep.
And then I thought that they would come upstairs at some point, but I realized quickly they just came in through the garage and then went straight to bed in the basement. So I didn't know when they got home, and so finally I realized, wait, I thought I heard the garage or whatever, and so I knocked and rang the doorbell a lot, and then they let me in. I was out for hours though.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, I need to think of it. You answer that question. I'll try to think of one that maybe you haven't been asked before.
I think so. I don't remember specific. I know I've been locked out of my own place before, not my family's house. So yes, I have definitely been locked out of my home before.
Okay. Here's one. Maybe you've never been asked this. Do you think there is any historical utility, or has there ever been any, even slight utility historically or anything to astrology at all? Maybe even potentially.
I get asked that question like on every date.
Really?
I'm kidding. No, I've never been asked
It's
before.
like, no way. I was thinking about that the other day because I was like, I know it's convoluted in BS now. And
Cut that
it's
down
all-
because there's a keyword I'm missing. Has his history? Redo it, please, but more concise because I forgot some.
Do you
keywords.
think there is or ever was any utility to astrology as a study? Do you
Yeah.
think there's anything? Okay. Even historically.
Okay, the historic part. So yeah, well,
Yeah.
obviously there's something to learn from it, like where we are oriented in space would be a good one.
Do you think like that the study of astrology as it relates to people and how it affects them there's anything to that?
Ah, that's a different question.
Well, that's what astrology is.
Okay, maybe I was thinking of astronomy.
No, I'm saying astrology.
Yeah,
this is the Capricorn.
I was just thinking.
We made
that's
fun of
what I
this.
got it confused with astronomy, not astrology. That's why I was like.
Yeah. I'm talking about
To which the answer is, how about no?
Yeah, that's what. See, for years I would have said that, and I've been thinking about it lately, and I know it's completely BS now because people just use it as a placeholder for justification to feel feelings or whatever. But it had to come from something, and it latched on for some reason. Maybe it only latched on as a placebo effect thing, and sure, maybe that's good enough for people. It clearly is because everybody, no. Many people use it and take it seriously. It's obviously BS, confirmably now, reliably. But maybe at some point there was really smart people who actually found some repeating patterns.
I'm cutting you
maybe.
off, but I know what you're saying.
Okay.
Perhaps at some point it meant something.
Yeah.
Certainly it could have been, or maybe it should have, because why else would it have been made in it and been existing for so long? I
Yeah.
get that.
That's my
I
point.
get your question,
Okay.
but I'm going to say no.
Okay.
There have been a lot of things that have been made up that have no effect on people's lives, like the Greek gods and
Yeah.
the seasons and how your harvest would be depending on how the gods are pleased or not. Like it doesn't affect, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm going to say no. I get your question though. Fun question. Okay.
I'm good with that answer. I think I'm 5% of me has doubt. Maybe or 5% of me thinks potentially there was some, even if it was tiny little bits of maybe the time of year you were born, something about your energy or some untrackable BS.
How about
I don't know.
here's a something tenuous connection that could make sense. Sorry, I'm still on what I realized. Maybe this type of person, what are the freaking signs, astrological signs?
Zodiac.
Yeah, whatever. I'm a Taurus, I guess. So say Taurus is, you said like it's a big deal.
You're a Taurus. Yeah, I'm sorry.
I'm a tarded. I'm gonna say if they ask me now, what's your sign? I'm a tarded. That's what I'm gonna say.
No.
I'm gonna do it.
Okay.
Say the sign says you're a tarded Taurus, and they're sad people. They're generally sadder than everyone else. Well, it turns out that month of the year is winter. And winter is a season. People usually have seasonal depression. So there's the tiniest connection,
But it has nothing
to do with the stars. Yes, like
Okay.
that's an idea of a tenuous connection.
I'm with that. I'm
Okay.
with that.
Wow, we really exhausted that. All right. Yeah. If you could have a different skin color and it has to be a color of the rainbow, what color would it be?
Oh, it can't be like a culture.
No, you're getting a new one.
Okay.
If you got a freak chemical accident and love, and now you have one of those 6 colors.
Silver.
That's not a rainbow color. That's a cloud mining
I
color.
want silver.
Okay,
I wanna be the
rainbow.
silver
The
surfer.
rainbow was arbitrary. The whole point was to ask you a question you hadn't been asked before.
Okay, what about
So-
you? So you're saying one of the primary prism colors.
Well, that's sure, yeah.
Okay. Shoot. So like red, orange, yellow, green, blue.
Red would be cool because I could look more like Darth Maul.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought about red. I'd pick red. It's my favorite color. Just do it. But it has to be a distinct like paint red, not like your sunburned all over red. Like it has to look like whoa, he died. Like it has to look like
So if I do I still look like me?
yeah, you look exactly the same, but
Just
all your skin
is
color is different. Yeah.
Man, that's lame. I don't want to look like me and have a different. I'd look okay. Here's what I think. I would like to be blue, but I'd like to be a hot woman in blue, like the girl from Star
Doesn't
Trek.
count. Doesn't count.
But she's hot, even though she's blue.
Well, you're not. You're not she, and you're not
All right.
hot. So you have to be she's silver, Zach.
Fine. I'll be just silver.
I'm gonna be red, and then in 20 years I'll have silver hair, and then it'll be like
Yeah, cool.
nice. Actually. Oh, I couldn't play the sound.
Oh man.
Let's
So sad.
Oh. I had to give him permission to play the sound, and I actually hit the wrong one. It was so sad to keep it at the right time. Very funny coincidence that happened.
So sad.
All right, your turn.
Oh, if I had to change, okay. That was a good one.
I got a question.
Okay,
No, I mean, I was just letting you know I was thinking, and I am ready.
go because I can't think of one right now.
What do you think about elk?
Elk the species?
No, the band. Yes, the species, the animal.
What do I think about elk?
Yeah, you ever been asked that before?
I'd like to eat it again. I'd like to try it.
Okay.
I think it'd be cool. I also think it'd be cool to hunt one, but I don't well, I've never hunted. But the idea of hunting one, dragging it back would be cool.
I want to see one. That's what I want to know.
I've seen them.
That's what I think about them. I
We
think I
almost-
want to see one.
I almost hit one in a car.
Good.
What do I think about elk? What a specific question.
Well, you answered it. You think
Yeah.
you want to eat one and hunt one. What's
Yeah. Who do you think the worst people of all time were?
I don't think I've been asked that question. The worst people of all time? Do
Yeah, like
you mean historically?
yeah.
Okay, all
Like
right.
the worst, the people who made the worst.
I am so ignorant, but I'm going to
Yeah.
say the freaking Philistines.
Oh, okay.
The freaking Philistines. You know, the peas on top of the Babylonian wall?
Yeah, yeah.
Those assholes.
Yeah, they were. You cannot break a wall down. Yeah, the peas.
The peas. short for Philistine. Pea. Yeah.
Did you ever make the correlation that from VeggieTales, those peas that were on the top of the wall were supposed to be making fun of Monty Python and the
No.
you will not go away before I
which-
taunt you a second time.
Which is interesting because they're French.
Yeah.
French peas.
That's who they were mimicking there.
But I wonder if the French pea character was created specifically in that episode. That wasn't their first appearance.
yeah, it was.
The first time you see an animated pea in VeggieTales was on top of the Babylonian wall.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
I'm
Because
pretty
if that's the case, that would make sense why they made the peas French. But if
Yeah.
it turned out they start with French peas and then they go, oh, if we put the French pea at the top of the wall, he can be the Frenchman. Make it.
No, I think it's the first time. Well, they could. Yeah, no, it's the first time. I think.
Man,
That's one of the earliest
that old.
VeggieTales.
Well, anyway, that's
It's one of the earliest ones. Man, VeggieTales. We actually watched VeggieTales this week on movie night.
Good.
Yeah, we watched the one where they eat the popcorn ball.
Oh yeah, man, that's an old one.
Yeah. Yeah, and then there's the one that's the one with the veggies are they live in two towns, and then the cucumbers like hopping around, and then he gets put into a hole.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then the kid with the pot.
We are so or too busy.
We're busy,
so busy,
shockingly busy. You've no idea what we have to do. Busy, shockingly busy, much too busy for you. And then there's
ta-da!
Yes.
Remember that? Then ta-da! I remember that. It always bugged me. I was like, you asshole.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
He's not busy. He doesn't have time to sing a song.
That's actually comedic, like really funny. If you think about what that is, they take a whole time to do a whole musical number and dance together.
A whole musical number and dance about how they don't have time to help you when they could be helping you. It's great.
I think those people who made VeggieTales are legitimately funny people.
Guess what? I know off a bit of a tangent. I was riding around in Colorado 2 weeks ago, and I knew Focus on the Family.
Yeah.
Did they make VeggieTales, or they just produced it? I think they produced VeggieTales.
No, because
anyway,
Big Idea did.
Yeah, they're a studio. Anyway, I happened to ride right past. I knew it was there. I just didn't know where. I just looked over. And, oh, it says Focus on the Family on this. There it is. I just happened to drive right by it.
Wow. Yeah, I know it's in Colorado.
Anyhow, I asked the skin color question, and you asked me a question about the worst people. Philistines, VeggieTales. There we go.
Do you actually think the Philistines are the worst people?
It's my answer. I'm too historically ignorant.
I am too.
I'm sure there probably were worse people because I don't know anything.
Yeah. I feel like, I don't know what the names for it would be, but normally it's cult people. Like I feel like cult people are the worst people. Like certain cults. Like maybe some cults are nice, but.
How about a cult that abducts babies and feeds them to cannibalistic witchcraft people? That's pretty bad. I mean,
that's Philistines, right? They did that, right?
I don't know. I was just like, I'm sure there's
like cannibal people who eat babies or whatever. Yeah, but I feel like cult, and I don't know if I'm talking about modern cults or historical ones, but I'm sure some of them like convinced people to like eat their kids or.
Well, you didn't say it, but I think your question wasn't who do you think the worst people are? Is who do you think the worst group of people were in history? Something like that.
Oh yeah,
something which
maybe I shouldn't ask it that way. Maybe that could get me in hot water. Who the worst people were.
You said something like that. You said something like that, and I was like, oh, like, well, that's actually there is objectively the worst people, whatever. I don't know,
but what
does that mean?
We can answer that however we want.
Yeah,
I don't want to be racist.
It could have been a joke. I was gonna say, oh, people who talk during movies. Like I didn't know.
That was actually half of what I was going for. I was like, I wonder if he's gonna have a joke if I ask this.
Okay, so I wasn't sure what end to go on. Like seriously, like legit, literally, or like a joke. Like personally, I just like people who do this. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway,
we both took it serious.
That's your question. Okay. So my turn is,
if you could shoot anything to space, what would you shoot to space?
What a great question.
Yeah.
It'd probably be a toy, like a very precious toy.
Like what?
Like a
Rock'em
there was
Robots.
It's weird because before I even said it out loud, I had something in mind. There was a toy car, like a Hot Wheels, I buried in my sandbox, and I would bury things and then dig them back up later because it was fun to re-dig them up. I guess that was just normal. I did weird things that were normal to me. Like I put sand in my pants. Like that's just what you do. That was just normal to me as a kid. Anyway, I buried one car we liked and I could not find it. And years later, it turned up.
Nice.
Super happy day.
Yeah.
That toy, launch it into space. It's because it's what's the word? Not juvenile. It's stupid. Mm-hmm. It's like a joke almost, but also it's cool.
Now
what's the word? What's the word? It's like childlike innocence.
Yeah.
That's why I would pick a toy. What about you?
Well, you got to thinking about that, and then I specifically thought about what if you. Okay, let me ask you this, because I have my impression of what would happen. But what if you shot a slinky into space? Would it be like in space? Would it be doing the wiggly, rotatey thing? I know it would stay consistent and float in one way, but do you think it would keep doing this for all time? because it has its own gravity in the ground.
Like, I thought about that and then just realized, maybe it would get so cold it would get stiff, and that would slow it down. Its momentum from maybe then eventually would
maybe
solidify.
That.
Yeah, maybe that.
Okay, I could see that.
I just realized that. Like, ooh, yeah.
So I feel like eventually it would stop doing this thing. But if let's say you shoot it first, but like I think it'd be even cooler.
Fun to watch. Yeah, it'd be really fun.
Freaking float or just doing this.
Yeah,
yeah.
We'll compromise. We'll shoot a slinky dog into space.
Yeah, his eyes are.
That's like from Toy Story.
Yeah.
So it's a slinky, but it's also a dog.
Yeah, I'd shoot like a diary. Like a journal I wrote.
We could have answered this question anyway. We both took it from a silly side. Let's just take the same question again more seriously.
Yeah.
My first thought is like some kind of information packet, and yet I still am seeing this from a juvenile, what's the right word, way. You got something funny to say. I can see it on your face. But I would want to do something that's a mix of the two. Something that's special to me, but ultimately dumb. Mm-hmm. So like a song that nobody's like, I recorded a song that no one's ever heard.
Oh, cool. Yeah. And then
and then it's just gone. Yeah. And then like maybe someday someone will find it. Like that's a cool, but also dumb thing.
And the odds of someone finding it are so unlikely that if someone does, it was meant to be.
Right.
Like,
and it is badass. That's awesome. Yeah. That's a cool idea.
That is cool. That's a great answer for a real answer. I just imagined, okay, you get a canister and then you get a rocket and you fart in it. And then you seal it and you shoot that into space.
Yes.
You said, I want to shoot something special up there. And I thought, I want to fart. Put it in space.
That's great.
Yeah. And then someone like just millions of years, like aliens find it. And they're like, a sample from another planet. Let's study it. And then they like study it for decades, not knowing that it's freaking fart.
I'm imagining it's like a Pringles can, like something, whatever. When you open it, it plays the fart noise when it comes out. Like that's how farts work. Yeah. When they move, they make a noise. So
it sealed the noise in there. It's been echoing in there for all time. I'm so childish.
I know we're going off on tangents. It's okay. It's sparking fun conversations. If I had the ability to, I would sell people the ability to can their farts and I'll launch them into space for them.
Oh man.
Because that is a good example of, I tell you, I have fantasies about having power, being in a position of power so I can just do stupid shit and annoy people. That's exactly what I would do if I had the ability to launch things into space. Okay, what's something stupid I can do, which is dumb on the surface, but underneath it's good because I'm making people happy. But it's also stupid. I would absolutely do something like that. That's a fun idea.
I just think that, okay, here's what I imagine would happen is after a long time, aliens would find it and they would say, a sample from the planet Earth this is an artifact. We have to send this to our very best scientists to study. All the while, my whole intent was, I'm going to fart in this and send it to space. And they take it extremely serious. And then they bottle up all the air, all the fart, and they keep it in a special place. And like, this is special air, but it's fart.
No, they don't.
It's not special to me, but it's special to them because it is. It's the only air they have.
They don't know that it's fart. They don't care that it's
fart. They don't
fart.
care.
It's just a special alien air artifact. But they don't realize it's a joke.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, this planet must be gaseous and smell bad.
It'd be like if
just fart.
It'd be like if you sent the la 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 song into space, like it's just that song, and then they're like, wow, this is a whole culture. Like, this is beautiful. La, 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 la. And to them, it's like, oh, wow.
Either that or scary. They'd be like, oh, what the heck is they? That's a scary thing to say.
That's a curse. La, 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 la,
la. They're out to kill us.
Yeah.
Yes.
There was a movie that used that premise. It was Pixels, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a good idea. That was a
fun idea.
It was a fun idea, but not a very good movie. But man, I just love the freaking like how just lost in translation. They're just like, haha, send it, and they're just, oh, it's precious. And, oh, precious fart.
Fart.
It's fart, guys. Man, I would get them. I'd be rolling in my grave like, ha.
Bill, man, still got it.
I farted at them.
I think that was your question. If you could shoot something into space, what would it be?
Yeah.
What a fun question.
Yeah, it was.
All right. I want to ask a would you rather, but that's kind of like Easy one to ask. Do you prefer cold light or warm light?
Warm light.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because you have to be a psychopath to like cold lights.
Yeah. And it's not close.
Not close?
Yeah, it's not close. I like warm light. I don't like cold light at all.
I can't think of, I was going to say, I can't think of even a situation where I would be like, yeah, let's get some cold light.
Yeah.
Maybe if it was a hot summer night thing, and then maybe I'd want to turn the LEDs to blue, but even, no, I still wouldn't do it. I'd still do warm lights just to feel like I'm cooler. Yeah. If I was really hot, because it would help your mind, okay, but also so, like it's like.
Do you mean when you say warm lights and cold lights?
When
I imagine cold lights, I imagine like something like these or something like the freaking like work warehouse lights.
All I mean is color. That's all I'm talking about, not actual temperature that they put off. It's just
so color. You mean cool scale too when you say cold? Because like my room, I have a lot of blue and green and purple lights.
Yeah.
And I like that. I like how that looks, but it's neon. It doesn't feel like cold lights to me. That's cool scale though. Is that what you mean?
I wouldn't call it cool scale, but yes, let's just say lost in translation. I mean color, but even simpler. Bulbs, not LEDs, like bulbs.
Yeah.
Fluorescent light versus an orangey warm light. That's what I meant. That one's warm light. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's my answer for that.
So the two lights in my bedroom, they can change color. They have bluish, solid white, and then the warm orange one. I just leave them on the warm one.
Yeah.
Because when I switch them to white, I stand back and look at it and I go, white's really neat and all, but I look at it and it just looks like a sterile, cold hotel room or something.
Looks heartless.
Yeah.
It doesn't care about you.
Yeah. My room hates me.
Yeah.
It's weird what a difference it makes. Anyway, that's my question. Just to clarify, you don't think anyone's ever asked you that before, right?
Yeah. Nobody. I don't think so.
Okay.
Do you think overalls will ever come back?
Oh, I actually asked myself that. I think people in the future will wear them thinking that it's fashionable, but not like come back. No. Well,
hipsters wear them.
Let me clarify this. Some girls wear them.
Yeah.
As a style. So are they back?
It's cute.
Have they ever left? What do you mean by come back? Do you mean become practical again, where men wear them?
Yeah, where men wear them, because girls wear them and they're cute because they're girls. But
girls can wear anything.
They could wear a potato sack and guys would be like, wow.
Yeah, so that doesn't count. Yeah, that's why I was saying like,
yeah,
like practically.
Yeah,
would they come back practically? Well, I might argue they haven't left. Guys still wear overalls, but maybe what you're thinking of or what I'm thinking of is jean overalls.
Yeah,
they were more popular before than they are now. If that's what you're talking about, I don't think they're going to come back. I think they're going to just slowly phase out, but just so slow. They're going to last a long time. People still wear them today. I think they're going to last pretty much forever.
Yeah.
But they're going to be less and less popular over time, I think. Yeah. So come back, no.
Okay.
Good question.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's my assessment too. I'd like to get a pair of overalls.
I would not look good in overalls. They look good on some people. Like my neighbor growing up, that's all he wore.
Yeah.
So of course, in my mind, he looked good in them. But then, of course, I hadn't seen him in anything else. But man, he rocked overalls. Like he's the man.
Yeah. Yeah. There was one. Yeah. We all knew someone who only wore overalls growing up, and it was like, yeah, like I saw the guy in the overalls one time not wear them, and I was like, no, that's not it.
For real? No,
don't do that. Yeah, I like the idea of overalls. Funny enough, like 4 of the 5 times I've ever gone on a first date with a stranger, 4 out of 5 they were wearing overalls. Isn't that interesting?
It's basic.
Well,
no, you're
there
right.
Was nothing to give
It is
me.
interesting. It's like what a coincidence or a correlation, whatever it is. Yes, it's interesting.
They all looked cute.
The odds of that are not great.
No, not.
It's like rolling dice. Each girl could be wearing one of 5 different basic types of outfits, and 4 of them happen to be wearing the same outfit, and that outfit happened to be the one we're talking about.
Yeah. The first day with the stranger, she was wearing overalls, and I was like, "That's awesome! What a cool idea! You look great in those." She's like, "I never wear overalls." 3 of the 4 of them said, "I never wear overalls," and I just decided to this time. I was like, "What is it about me that makes girls want to wear overalls when they never do?"
You are such a man that you make people around you want to be more manly.
I make them feel safe enough to just try an adventurous garb. Maybe. You're
Going
crazy.
Going to a clothes store. Hey, can I help you find anything? Yes, I'm looking for an adventurous garb. I'd love to see what they come up with. It probably wouldn't be anything good, but just to watch them compute. Well, we got slim fit polos. Like,
seems adventurous to me.
nice.
Yeah, wouldn't it be cool to get like really good fashion people, like who are to like just
suit you up?
Yeah, just give us clothes.
That would be really interesting.
Yeah, I wonder how good we'd look. Like if we got professionals in, and then they said, "We're gonna do your hair, we're gonna do your beard, we're gonna trim you up."
Oh damn!
We're gonna give you
I
the
thought you
cuts.
just meant like outfit, but
No,
sure.
outfit too. They're gonna extreme makeover face edition.
Oh
us.
yeah, not face edition. That'd be funny though.
Extreme makeover.
Yeah, remember that show?
Yeah, where they like
that's
make you look
crazy.
good.
I loved that show.
Yeah.
So superficial. It was great.
It was cool because at the end you'd be like, man, that's nice. And I think,
Man, that guy's a better person now.
yeah. Usually there was a little bit of like trying to dress the cow up kind of feel to it, because sometimes they were like, I don't even know how to behave now. but it was cool.
Anyhow, yeah, it'd be interesting to even like try that one time. I thought about something like that. I thought, well, like, whoops, I guess it's kind of related. If you were going to go on a talk show or something, they would dress you up hair and makeup wise to a degree. They may even give you an outfit. I don't think so, but that would be a situation where you would have a temporary one time get stylized, and that'd be interesting to see what they would do, you know.
I wonder, yeah. Because what I also want to see is how much they can improve what I do to myself to make. Because like we don't completely neglect our looks. Not completely,
Just mostly.
but we could.
No,
but maybe they'd have a bunch to improve on, and we just don't know.
Oh yeah. How I'd say it is, I'm sure there's something that they would improve that I had never thought of or considered before. Oh,
Yeah,
those. Oh, you can wear these, and oh, I like those, or like, oh, you can do that with my hair. Like I never thought occurred to me. That would be cool.
that would be. What I'd be really sad and afraid of is if they did their best and I looked either the same or worse, because I'd be like,
Yeah, that would
oh
suck.
man, I can't improve.
Not a risk I'd want to take. Like if they wanted to make up an outfit, sure, I don't care.
Yeah.
That's not permanent. Cutting hair,
Well, that's not permanent either.
Still, there's a consequence. Like I would need to be trusting or getting something out of it to just take that kind of a gamble.
I've had enough weird haircuts that I wouldn't mind. I'll try anything for a few months. I've had like the weird like buzz cut on the sides and everything super long on top several times. And that was a little weird for me because I've got a weird face, but I was like, whatever. It's just hair.
I have a question, but only because I don't think you've been asked before. But maybe you have. Have you ever worn a kilt?
I own a kilt
That's not the question.
and I've worn it many times.
Yes, but that's not the question. I know you. I know that about you. But has someone ever asked you, have you ever worn a kilt?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was worried about that. Okay. So
Have you ever worn a kilt?
no.
Do you want to? Do you want to wear mine?
I got to be in the mood for a kilt. I got to be looking for adventurous garb.
It's real.
That's what a kilt is.
It is. It's real, and it was expensive. It was really expensive. It was like the legit stuff. They give you the satchel that goes with it. I can't remember what they call it, like ghillie pack or something. I can't remember what they call it. But they give you this like pouch that is used like a belt, and you tie it through, and then it's like really thick too. I was surprised at how thick it was.
The kilt.
The kilt,
Yeah. I assume so.
Yeah, it's heavy, and it's very comfy. I was like, man, this looks ridiculous, but I love it. It doesn't look that ridiculous. It just looks ridiculous for my standards.
Not about clothes this time. We've gone back and forth about clothes for a while. Not about food or animals.
What do you think the coolest disability is?
You're doing a good job of asking these questions that could potentially go very, very south.
Okay, never mind then.
No. It's a fair question, and I've never been asked it before.
Okay, they're all cool. I mean, they're all,
Oh man,
I'm gonna
you're just scooping away.
like obviously maybe they're not preferable, but
Okay,
if you had to have like, okay,
what's if I had to have a disability, which one would I choose? Or what do I think? What's your question? I don't understand the question.
Like,
really.
what do you think? Like, what do you think you could sport? Like, if you had a disability, like I could wear this one.
I don't know if this counts.
Okay.
But a cyborg limb. Like, I lost a limb, so I got a robot one.
A missing limb.
No,
you don't get to pick if you get a cyborg. Those are expensive.
No,
I'm talking about.
I couldn't rock having coolness is what I thought the question was. I think I could be cool, still pull off being cool with a robo limb.
Mm-hmm.
I think I could be cool. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah.
What do you think is the coolest?
I think whatever, like losing one eye and having an eye patch. I think that's cool.
Yeah, right. I get it. But then I could go back and go, oh, you look at the eye patch, you're a cyborg. I'm like, no, that's the whole point. Yes.
But an eye patch is easier than a cyborg limb.
Yes.
How many cyborg limbs are there?
I don't know.
There's a lot of eye patches.
I want one. I need to write that down.
I need to get a cyborg.
I need to write that down. Some things about medical in case I'm incapacitated and stuff or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
There's things you should bound to where to put them. One of them is in case you have to take a limb off, whatever. Are you thinking about it? I'm okay with the limb being removed as long as you make sure that it will be compatible with. Do your best to make a socket wherever you can to make sure I can get a cyborg limb later. Don't just. If you're going to cut it off right. I don't know. I want that written down so they know, like, okay, he's not going to cry if we get rid of the limb because he's already, whatever.
I feel like they leave removing limbs as a last resort and only if necessary.
Yeah, but then if it comes time to cut a limb, I don't know how to cut limbs. I'm sure, like, I want like a cyborg socket. Don't just cut it and then wake me up and go, you don't have one. If you want a cyborg limb, you got to do another surgery to get this ready to make your stump rig. No, do that the first time. That's what I'm saying. If you're going to cut off my limb, cut it the right way. Cut it once, not twice.
Well, I don't know.
Dumbass, come on.
I don't know how picky you can be in this scenario. I feel like they're like, let's just make it so he stops bleeding.
You're right. I should just be like, it's okay. You got 3 more limbs you can cut off and try again.
I don't understand.
I'm making light of all of it. I'm not saying you're wrong or anything. The whole thing is silly.
Yes. I was like thinking about, okay, so any scenario where you lose a limb is going to be traumatic for everybody. So maybe you can't be picky about how you lose it because like they're not going to be eager.
In the event, I'm trying not to be absolutely unreasonable. In the event that I can choose how, this is what I choose. Is that fair?
Yes.
Okay.
And I like that answer. If it's as long as it's whatever I want, then I could get rid of. Yeah, I don't know. I hope I didn't sound like I was making light of disabilities.
No,
I was trying to.
If people listen to us in context, I think they understand.
Yeah,
eye patch and robo leg. Those are the answers. Those are cool. That's what we're saying.
I'm not even okay. I'm not going to dig the hole any deeper.
Yeah.
Disabilities are cool, and people with disabilities are cool already. What one do you think you could wear and like be like, yeah, this is good. Yeah, rock it.
Yep. Fun question.
Yeah. Although I do like to think that I could weather the storm with any disability.
I have a question.
What?
If you had to lose one of, I don't know how many there are, 3 senses of taste, which one would you choose to lose?
Bitter.
Sweet, bitter, and spice? Or the sweet, bitter, and sour? I don't know. I think there's 5, but
I'd lose bitter. And you won't taste bitter stuff.
Makes sense. But there are some things I bet you like that fall into bitter. But still.
That's a good question.
But
what bitter things do you like?
I don't know what counts as bitter, you know?
Yeah.
Like what things do your what flavors do your better God dang it. What flavors do you like that your bitter senses pick up that you wouldn't really call bitter? That's just what part of your tongue detects it. So
I've got an example.
Sure, what?
Cabernet wine.
Okay,
it's dark.
Sure.
It's like dark wine. And it's not particularly. It's not like yummy. It's
so
like
it's
bitter.
It's not like it's a part of your tongue. It's not like there's any one part of your tongue that only detects disgusting food.
Yeah,
they all taste good things. So if you lose one of your senses, you're gonna lose some good taste somewhere. But I think that makes sense. Yeah.
If you had to lose one sense, what would you lose?
sense,
Yeah.
I've been asked it before.
Oh, well then don't answer it.
Okay.
We're not trying to do a show here.
There you go. I know I've asked myself before. I know I've been asked. Let me think about it again out loud. Touch, does that count?
That's the sense?
Yeah. Okay. Touch, sight, hearing, taste.
Mm-hmm. Smell.
Oh, did I not say smell? Hearing, sight, smell, taste, touch.
Mm-hmm.
I think, was it speech isn't a sense. So
Taste.
probably you would choose taste. Oh, you weren't saying it. You were just saying. I think I'd go with smell.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
Yeah.
None of them are good.
Yeah.
But
it's a bummer with that then.
But sight is super, super important.
Yeah.
If you lose your hearing, you kind of lose your speech. So that's a twofer. So then you're left with taste and smell. Unless I'm forgetting a third one, I think I am.
Touch.
Yeah, touch. Very, very dangerous. Very dangerous. It's almost like being blind.
Yeah.
You could get seriously injured or die, and you wouldn't. That's a huge problem.
Yeah. It's between those two for me too. Taste and smell.
Yeah, I would shoot in between those two. I'd say smell, because I know smell enhances taste, but losing taste, both would have some amount of depression that would come with it, not being able to taste or smell your favorite thing. But I think you use and would appreciate taste more.
I know that. Well, think about how often you'd be stinky and you wouldn't know. You'd have to have people to tell you, like, you gotta.
Well, I'd rather have that than tell me, hey, your hand's on a burner, you don't have touch. That it's not a problem for me specifically. I am hygienic.
Right.
But I'm sure there are other disadvantages for losing smell that I have not even considered.
Yeah.
But I'm fairly convinced that it is the smallest loss.
I think you're right. And actually, sometimes I can't smell anyway, so I already kind of know what that's like, and it's fine.
All right. I kind of ask a dismal would you rather question. Would you rather pick? I have one of them. Man.
How about I got one kind of.
Sure.
It's kind of dismal. Would you rather for sure die a week from now, and you know you're going to die a week from now, or would you rather die in the next year but you don't know when?
The question is, would you rather die a week from now? Yes. I thought that was going to be a joke question. There is no would you rather. Do you want to just die? Yeah. All right. So die exactly a week from now or sometime within a year, but you don't know when.
Yeah.
Fun question. I would...
both are scary.
I would probably choose the year for one reason. It gives me more time to get my affairs in order. Presumably, there's a good chance I'll live longer than a week. That is the reason I would choose it. Yeah, that's the reason I would choose.
I think I'd pick that too. Maybe that one's not such a good.
No, it is a good question, but kind of
the idea was like you know for sure. Like, would you like to know, or would you like to just know generally without actually knowing?
You could.
There's a better version.
There is a better version. I get the question you want to ask. The question you want to ask is,
maybe it's 3 months
die,
for sure.
Do you want to choose a time when you die specifically, but you don't get to live as long, or you will live longer, but you don't know when you're going to die? That's the same thing, but it focuses more on die when you want to, but you don't get to have as long to live. Like you get 30 years, or you're sometime in about 6 or more than 30 you'll live, but you don't know. I would choose the. Well, I don't know.
Oh.
What about you? If you got to live to be 50, pick a middle age. You're gonna die by 50, and you get to pick when, or you can live sometime after 50 and you'll die. It could be the next day, but probably not.
I'd pick longer for sure.
I would too, because, well, I'm sacrificing potentially another 50 years.
Well, that's
on a
basically what
whim.
you're doing anyway, kind of thing.
All right, my question. I can't pick a versus. You can help me out. I was going to say, would you rather die by drowning? I know, which is awful. Or pick another awful way to die.
On fire.
Okay. Would you rather die drowning or on fire?
Or burn to death. Yeah.
Yes. Die on fire. Yeah, it's tough.
That's dismal.
Yeah.
I'd probably,
Fun though, because I think it's fun because I've never asked myself that, and it just makes it interesting.
I feel like burning to death would be quicker.
That's an interesting question. One would be quicker. They would both be.
I feel
painful.
like you'd pass out.
I think with fire, with drowning, I have the sense that drowning is worse. Drowning, I think you have more time for dread is the problem. In fire, you're just in so much pain and panic, you can't even be. It's pain over dread. I just think dread's the worst.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think so,
but that's where my mind goes.
Man, I just have nightmares of like breathing in water, and then you feel heavy and you feel like you need air, but you can't get it, and maybe you have enough oxygen to still be awake.
Feeling, and I'm not saying burning alive, not being able to breathe because there's no oxygen isn't worse, but
yeah, I don't know. I'm more scared of. I know fire is hot.
I'd be more scared of. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I would be more scared of drowning.
I would be more scared of drowning too.
Like go dive in. There's two babies. One's falling in the water, and one's in the burning house. I'd run in the burning house. That's a bad example.
Ooh,
it presents more moral dilemmas. Like, oh, you're just presuming you're going to die if you save either of them, or you're going to drown if you. That's not a good question.
No,
that's not a good question. But yes, I'd be more afraid of drowning than dying in a fire. Like, that's going to suck, but I can just fucking die in the fire.
I know that that's going to hurt, but I think I also have a suspicion that at some point it would be so painful you'd pass out and then you'd die. Like you'd lose consciousness.
I'm certain there's literature. Is that the right word on death by fire? I'm sure they've got a lot of that shit down.
Yeah. I bet they have drowning down too.
Sure.
Because people have inhaled water and then they just were able to live because they got CPR done or they got saved.
But yeah, I never really thought about that, but I could totally see passing out from, well, the pain, I think, would be too much. And then if not that, then the oxygen. I wonder how, I don't really want to know, but I wonder how long. That's another question. If, say, it takes a minute to drown and it takes 30 seconds to die by fire, doesn't mean that the fire is better. It could be more than twice as painful. I don't know. It's just so many variables. Interesting question. You put all the dismal stuff aside. So you pick fire?
Yeah.
That's what I pick.
Have you ever have you ever done studies about getting beheaded?
I always do studies on that.
For real?
That's a fun question. Have you ever done studies on being beheaded? No, but I know I watched a video on it, and I had a mini creepypasta story I made up about it before the fact. And then when I researched, quote, about it, learned about beheadings, I was like, oh, my story wasn't so crazy. Like, that actually could probably happen based on what we know about beheadings. That makes my story more creepy, whatever. So the answer is yes, I have looked into beheadings.
Yeah.
How about you? I'm guessing you have. It'd be dumb if you asked it and like, nope.
Yeah, there was a chilling video that I was watching this week. And I was on my binge of the macabre, like learning about things.
Can I briefly summarize mine and see if it's what you saw? Diary entry by a doctor who watched a prisoner be beheaded, and then nothing so far. I don't want to spoil
I recall something like this.
Okay, well, I don't think that's it. I don't want to give the whole thing away. I just want to know if it's the same one. You go ahead, because I don't think it is the same one.
Well, people did scientific studies back when France was beheading people, and they said that some like curious scientists and like death row people who knew they were going to be beheaded, they made pacts, and they basically said, like, the prisoners blink until you lose consciousness, and they were dying anyway, and so they're like, yeah, in the spirit of science, I'll do that. And that was eerie by itself already, because it's like this person knows their head's going to not be on their body and they'll still be awake. And they said that the person blinked for like 10 seconds or whatever. I was like, that's a long time. Ugh, it's creepy to think about.
Let's get grosser. What I heard was same situation. Prisoners agreeing to do this, whatever, who are going to be executed. You said, I'm going to call out your name, and just look at me when I call out your name.
No.
Creepy. Yeah.
No.
3 times, once every 30 seconds. And it worked each time, but feigning more difficult or bad each time. That's what I heard. Yeah, isn't it awful? That's like a little creepypasta. Yeah.
Is that real?
Supposedly. We don't know that. It's written down
that
somewhere.
that makes my stomach turn.
You know what's funny?
That's so scary.
Because, you know, yes or no, do you know what your biggest fear is?
I don't know
That's
my
incorrect.
biggest
That's
fear.
okay, it's a no. Do you know what my biggest fear is, yes or no?
No,
You don't?
I don't think so.
Floating heads. Disembodied floating heads that are like at head level.
I think I have told me that before.
So it's funny that, I mean, obviously that beheading thing is but I think it disturbs you more than disturbs me, which is kind of ironic since that's closer to my biggest fear.
Yeah. Well, and it didn't disturb me. What I was actually thinking about then is, boy, is this our audience gonna like this episode? This is heavy. So let us know if you don't like it. But that is, yeah. Well, right, basically there was this video that was like, this is a video. This is gonna be sensory overload. So warning, if you're going to be triggered by some graphic sensory information, then don't watch this. And without giving too much away, they basically simulated the sounds and they described in graphic detail what beheadings would be like from a scientist's perspective. Mm-hmm. And they were talking about specifically in France when they used the guillotine. And so they basically said, this is the last sound you'll hear. And you hear, and then they put it in your headphones and they make it sound exactly like it would sound to you. And then they pop like this. They make a, and they said that pop that you heard all the sounds of that, but that pop was the sound of your neck. Like, it was like really graphic, and because you heard it in your ears in this specific way, it felt I had chills. I was like, oh. And then they described that maybe you'd be awake for this long. Your brain would be cognitive until blood stopped going to your brain. And you would be needing oxygen and whatever. Anyway, I didn't want to think about like that whole every 30 seconds, like that is a long time.
All right, let's do one more on a good note, like something hilarious or fun so we can get this taste out of our mouths.
No, I want to keep going. This is fun.
No.
I like this. I like scary and gross stuff.
All right.
We don't have to keep going.
No, since you want to. What we're going to do is we're going to both commit a crime. We're going to get on death row, and then we're going to dare each other to not pass it the longest on our beheadings at the same time.
I don't think they do beheadings anymore.
Well, they'll make an exception for us. We got to do a really good crime.
Okay. What do you think?
We can't describe it. It's so good. It's so good that they have to behead us because death isn't good enough. Anyway, we're going to have a challenge. We're going to have a challenge, and then whoever stays the most conscious longest from beheading wins. That's taking your desire to have this topic go further.
I'm thinking about logistically. What?
No, come on now.
Okay, no.
Fun question. I think I'm behind on questions. Oh, okay. If you could transform into an animal whenever you want, what animal? Oh, and by the way, as an animal, you have your intelligence, whatever. You have no special abilities though as an animal. You can't speak, you can't move limbs in a different way, but you're all there. You can just physical form whatever you want. Which one would you choose? And it has to be a real animal that's alive today.
Well, I think I'd want to be on the top of the food chain, and I'd want to be super athletic.
I feel like we've been asked this before.
Yeah.
Does it sound familiar?
It does. It sounds like we've asked this.
Oh well,
but we could explore it. I'd probably pick.
I said dog or something. This sounds familiar, and then you said horse.
I wouldn't have said horse.
It wasn't horse.
Dog would be a good answer though, because
that's because I know we've talked about it. Because no one would dislike you as a dog, and animals for the most part wouldn't mind you. So I would want something that not only is top of the food chain where animals don't bother you, but people don't bother you because they're dangerous.
Or people are nice to you.
Yeah, well, you know what I mean. So a horse is a good one where, for the most part, no predators and people wouldn't just suddenly attack you necessarily. Because you can transform at will, but you don't want to get shot.
Yeah,
like you don't want to be an elk. Oh, this is fun. You get shot out of nowhere because you're an elk. You know, you need to think about those things.
Yeah,
those caveats.
Well,
I'm thinking horse actually because I would like to run, and I'd be fun to run as a horse.
Yeah.
Stop ruining everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Horse. I wouldn't want to be a horse.
Well, shoot. You know what? No, we did. And you said like peregrine falcon because flying. I'm like, oh yeah.
Yep.
And then you're a predator.
Yep.
Yeah.
I thought about that too.
We've definitely talked about this before somehow.
Yeah. So I don't want to. We could think of another question.
Yeah, sorry. I just tried to think of one that didn't suck. And
It doesn't suck. It's a good question. It's so good that we've already asked it. It is a good question. Man,
funny.
okay. If you could be the best in the world at anything, but it has to be like, you know what? Anything. If you're the best, if you could be the best in the world at anything, any activity, any task, what would it be?
Well, I would want to think of something that's useful, but we kind of talked about this where you said the best nickel balancer. I think that was like a joke question.
Yeah, but we didn't talk about.
I'm
you
taking
get
this
to
as a
pick.
serious question. Like,
Yeah.
now I'm going to think of some. It's like a genie giving me a wish. I need to think of what's most advantageous, kind of a thing,
Yeah.
or I would enjoy whatever. I got to think about it. You know, this is partly selfish, but not entirely, and I think it's okay. I want to be the best entertainer. I want to be the most entertaining person to make the most people happy or whatever as possible, which would be
Really?
advantageous because there I could make a lot of people happy or do what I want essentially. But then also it would be advantageous for me. If I was the world's best entertainer, I would be rich, right? Theoretically. But that's I'm sure there's better ones, but that's just the first one that came to me. It's like I want to be the best entertainer.
I came up with one, but it's really similar to yours.
Okay.
I want to be the best storyteller.
Nice.
Because it's sort of like
Wow.
entertainer, but I think can you imagine being the best storyteller in the world?
Wow.
It's like
you said that, I was like, wow.
Yeah, I feel like that one is the most advantageous, and it would be the most fulfilling because it's like
Right.
you can just weave together a tale that just captures people's attention and just everybody
Like-
and arrests their whole cognitive.
if we were, especially if we remove like money as an aspect of this, whatever we're being granted, I still like the entertaining one.
Yeah.
But storytelling, like best storytelling, like, wow.
Yeah,
Would just make your life and everybody else's life around you much better.
yeah, and like you could use your storytelling ability to write movies or books or whatever.
Or pick up chicks.
Sure. I mean, it's practical, I think. But you could, oh man. I just know I've always aspired to be a good storyteller. I still think it would be the coolest thing to be good at.
That is very cool.
Luckily, it is something you can practice. I just don't know how. It's one of those things. I don't know. Maybe with time I'll get better because I have more opportunities to practice telling stories.
Yeah, but good luck being the best ever because there's some mamma
amazing
jammas.
ones.
There's some mamma jammas who have lived hundreds of years and they've had a lot of time to practice telling stories.
Yeah.
But that would be a very cool one.
I think I agree. You still pick entertainer?
Without thinking about it, yeah.
Yeah, that's
And
that's a great one.
Okay, I'm glad you like it. Yeah.
I feel like when I imagine entertainers, I think of performers, and I don't think I'd want to be the best
Well,
performer.
I was gonna say make people laugh, but it's more broad than that. I want to allow people to escape. Essentially,
Yeah.
I
I
want to
also
give them
think of-
relief or reprieve from the world and the things they just want to get away from. Whether that's drama, comedy, I just
Magic.
I want to entertain them
Yeah.
so they can be happy or enjoy themselves. Whether that's crying at a sad movie, whatever it is. That's what I want to do.
It's a good one. It's a good one. I also don't like when I hear entertainer, I think like the attention is on you.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
And that there's certainly some of that. It's not, and then we're veering.
And maybe
off
that's
here.
what you want.
No, it's not. I've thought about this,
Okay.
but since we're talking about it, you can remove that variable by in this fantasy. I have the ability to change my appearance completely, and I can change my voice and my appearance, like shapeshift, and I go and I act in this role and that when I change them, and no one knows that they're me, Walter.
Okay.
I would love that. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
I don't care about people stopping Walter on the street because he's the guy from that movie. Doesn't matter. I could watch somebody watch that movie with me playing this completely different person and they liked it. I'm like, for like 2 hours, they were in another world and I had fun making that. That's all I want.
Yeah. That's kind of so it's really similar to my fantasy then, the storytelling one. Because I'm telling you are entertaining because you're entertaining to take people away. Storytelling is kind of the same thing. It's like pick you up and put you in a world that you create. So it's kind of the same. It's
Yeah,
pulling
kinda.
people.
Yeah.
But it would be cool to have stories that stories
Stories
maybe
can
even
be
entertainment can resonate with people and change them.
Yes, there's similarities, but between the two of them, I think storytelling is much deeper.
Yeah.
You know, like, yeah, well, they are similar, though. They certainly are similar. I see that.
Yeah. I actually think
Profound. That's the word I'm looking for. I think storytelling is far more profound.
Yeah. Well, I think that there was there was a Jordan Peterson lecture where he said something, and he said and it's not his idea, but he said that some people think a primary orientation of people is to see their lives as stories. Like everything is very narrative in people's minds, and that's why stories work so well with us, is because that's how we see ourselves. We see ourselves as stories. We don't really see ourselves as people as much. And I think that that's right, because like, man, boy, everything does seem very linear and like purposeful, and you know, all that leads back to a storyteller. And so maybe my whole fantasy about storyteller is it kind of leads back to the storyteller in this scenario. And it's like, I'd like to be the storyteller. Like, I'd like to be more like that. Maybe storyteller's God. It's a cool thought to think about life as a narrative. And then, I don't know.
You never could be the greatest storyteller then.
The greatest storyteller as a person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. But yeah. And you know
so,
what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's still very cool.
Maybe that's why it resonates more. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's why both of us are like, wow.
Yeah, wow.
That's kind of what I thought when I thought of it too.
All right, well, that was more fun and profound. That time flew by.
Yeah, that was better than beheadings. We talked about
remember burning alive and beheadings?
Yeah, and drowning. We talked about eating children and cults. Oh my goodness.
All the way around.
This one's not safe for life. We need to put a warning on this one. I don't. Do you think we need to?
No.
Do you think I don't know.
It's a listening show.
It's a show you can listen to. You can listen, but really, we talked very graphically about beheadings. You don't think we need to warn people like, hey, if you have
put it in the description, then that way we've absolved ourselves. We've technically forthrightly put something out there.
I don't know. It just feels like a risky territory. Like, what if
we're talking like we're gonna get demonetized?
But what if we do get demonetized?
They give us a fee. We have to pay them.
Oh no!
It doesn't help us.
We lose money. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
We've had a good ending, and you bring it back to beheadings.
So you want to end it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. I tried to not say and it just went all over the place. What the heck? Why is my voice? Put your earmuff up to the speaker. This is how I control my voice. It's not working. Ooh. This is stupid. Ooh. There's my voice kind of transforming. That's stupid. That's dumb.
Yeah. You were complaining last time because you couldn't do that, and I turned it on and it picked you up.
Just do this. Just like never mind. I was gonna yell across the table, but no, like this, but this wouldn't work.
Try it.
Penis. No, penis. Why am I changing my key to the piano?
Yeah, don't follow the piano key. Just say whatever.
Yelling at the microphone across the room. Okay,
that's a fun. It's a fun little vocoder.
Oh yes, that's fun. But what I'm doing is dumb.
Yeah, you need to get one for you.
No.
It's fun to make sounds. Sorry, I know you're trying to end the show. I don't know why I pressed this.
It's okay. Well, thank you, listeners, for listening. I hope that wasn't too crazy of an up and down around roller coaster ride of topics to talk about. But
if it was fun, leave us a kiss on the lips, and then just a little butt touch. Touch our butts a little bit. If it was a little too much for you to just kiss us on the lips and touch our butt a little bit.
I find that hard to argue with.
Yeah, just do just do that. Then we'll know not to do it anymore. Just touch our butts. What if I did? Touch our butts right now.
Goodbye, guys.
Bye.
See you next time.
Touch our butts.